I'm going to be going through the process of making this PNGTuber model in PNGTUBER Plus. I'm starting off with the drawing here in Fireaplaca, which is a great free drawing software. I'm using the symmetry ruler for this to make drawing more consistent and a lot easier. This model is going to have 7 expressions in total. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. 8, 9, and 0 look like this. So we'll go back to 1. This model also has 60 layers or sprites. Once we get done with all of the sketching, all of the different facial expressions sketching, we can then move on to line art. I'm going to post links in the description to tutorial videos for PNGTuber Plus that I personally followed and found really helpful. So if you're looking to make your own, you should check those out. I'd recommend it. This model's neutral expression has 2 eyes open sprites, eyes closed, mouth open, mouth closed, while all of the other emotions, all the other motion costume toggles, all have eyes open, eyes closed, mouth open, and mouth closed. This gives the neutral expression a little more feeling to it. Looks a little more complex. I also know that in PNGTuber Plus, you can use sprite sheets to make like the mouth animation look more complex. I haven't played around with those yet, but I would like to for my next model I make. For the line art, I use the default pen tool and the stabilizer or smoothing function cranked up. That helps smooth out all my lines and my shaky hands. I'm also overlapping a lot of the line art because of the way a PNGTuber model works. PNGTuber Plus will take the layers and turn them into sprites, then move the sprites up, down, left, right, or rotate them depending on what we tell it to do. This means we need to draw the layers or sprites in a way that even when they're moved, the overall image still looks completed without gaps or background showing through. So here I'm just going to finish up all the line art and then we can move on to coloring. When all the lines are done, we can move on to coloring. I use the same pen tool I use for lining and the airbrush tool. The pen tool is for the harder, sharper shadows, and the airbrush is for softer shadows or for blending out colors. After everything's colored, I resize the image around 750 to 880 pixels. Any larger than that and PNGTuber Plus will crash. I also use Fireaplaca's export layers animation mode. That way I can export all the layers as transparent PNGs at once instead of having to export them individually. Make sure the visibility toggle is on for all the layers before you export them, or Fireaplaca will produce black frames, and you'll try to open them in PNGTUBER Plus, and the frames will be completely blank, and you'll be really confused like I was. After all the sprites are in the program, we're now changing the origin point for all the sprites. The origin point tells each sprite where to rotate from. It's default in the center of the body, but for example, we want the hand to rotate and move from the wrist, not from the center of the body. So holding down the letter O and using WASD to move it to the proper place. Another example would be the rabbit ears, moving from the base of the ears and not the center of the body. After we have the origin point changed for all the sprites, we can start linking sprites together, or chaining them. The body will be the main base for all the other sprites. So, for example, the hand will be chained to the arm, and the arm will be chained to the body. Or the bows will be chained to the ears to the hair to the face to the body, the eyes to the face, and so on. I did end up doing this wrong at some point because the hair started to float away from the head. I'm still not sure what I did, so I unlinked all of the hair bits and started over and got it right the second time. Once the chaining is done, we can move on to physics. That's usually what I hear it called. I think this is basically how much the model will bounce and rotate, things like that. There doesn't seem to be a tried and true method for this, at least not one that I'm aware of. I kind of just play around with the sliders and decide if I like the level of movement or not. I did keep the numbers similar for parts on the left and the right side of the model. So if the left ear has a rotational drag of -10, the right ear will have a rotational drag of 10. But once we're done with that, we can save the model. I then wanted to create a little debut video. So I made a thumbnail in Fireaplaca. I then recorded the model using OBS. Using the gear icon in PNGTUBER Plus, you can change the color of the background. I used green because I wanted it to be used as a green screen. If your character has a lot of green on them, you might want to use blue, but it will all work pretty much the same. I then took that recorded footage and I put it into Climpchamp, which is a free video editor. There's a free and a premium version. I use the free version. I then used the green screen effects in the video editor to get rid of the background. Then using all of the free media available on Climpchamp, I added a background, some music, used some overlays and stickers, and made the little debut video I will cut to right now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.